Hi there, my name's Dan, and my wife and I just wanted to share the positive experience we'd recently had over the past 12 months or so after using child therapist Lucy Nathanson. So we first approached Lucy, about a year ago now, after finding that our daughter had been having some issues communicating at preschool. We initially thought she was just a little bit quiet, a bit shy, because she wouldn't respond to people when they talked to her, but we thought that was pretty normal for a 4-year-old. But it turned out at preschool that actually she wasn't really using her voice at all, and she was using gestures to communicate, increasingly so, to the extent that even if she'd hurt herself, she wouldn't tell the teachers why she'd hurt herself. She would only occasionally whisper to her younger sister to try and use her as her voice. And again, initially we weren't too concerned. We thought it was just a bit of a phase, but as time went on, she started failing to communicate with close family members, whereas before she was fine with my wife and myself, and fine with grandma and nanny and grandpa. She was never keen on talking to uncles and things, but again we thought that was quite normal. But she did start to go back to the stage that she wouldn't even communicate with nanny and grandma, or that she would take a very long time to actually start talking to them, and she would just use noises and gestures instead. So we started to worry a bit more, and that's when we sought assistance from Lucy. So I'm just checking notes on my phone as I go. She's always very noisy and vocal at home, normal, active, loud child. It was only really when other people came into the situation that she would close up and sometimes bite her lip or freeze or look anxious. She would always ignore strangers if they talked to her or addressed her or asked her direct questions, or actually turn her back and look away and just look confused as, sort of, why are you talking to me? As I say, we thought it was a phase, and the health worker mentioned to us at preschool that it was a little bit odd that she would not describe a picture she had drawn, or she'd get her sister to describe it instead of herself. So she mentioned selective mutism, and gave us some leaflets from the NHS, which scared the living daylights out of us because we started reading into it, but found that there wasn't that much useful information, or that it was contradictory, or just outright scary. And then we called Lucy and had an initial Skype interview, my wife and I had with her, to just get an idea of what the condition involved and what we could do to help our daughter. Lucy was very useful, giving us some tips, specifically of what not to do, which helped a lot, because we didn't really realise that some of the things we were doing were probably actually making the situation worse. And she gave us some tips about how we could help try to slide in other adults, preschool teachers and things, by playing games, and also how to focus on focusing on the T word, talking, and basically trying to build her confidence in other ways, with play dates with other children that she'd see at preschool, with swimming lessons, and anything that would build her confidence and make her feel good about herself. Also, playing word-based and number-based games was very useful, like Pop-Up Pirate, but using numbers to count. That worked brilliantly. We spent about an hour on the phone Skyping with Lucy, and came away significantly reassured, feeling a lot better, particularly knowing that in younger children you can resolve the issue. The faster you jump on it, the better. So we threw everything into it and used the ideas Lucy had and put a tailored plan together for our daughter, specifically in the situation that she was in. That is, we looked into how we could address the school issue, family issue, and then out and about. And we were particularly keen to get on top of the school issue, because she was about to go on some holiday and then she was starting big school. So we really wanted to transition, and we didn't want her to go into school not being able to communicate with teachers or children, and feeling anxious and worried about even asking to go to the toilet, or to have answer the register. So we put in an awful lot of effort trying to get play dates with her friends that she would be going to school with, and communicating with our friends and with the teachers as well, to make them aware of the situation, or the potential situation, so that we could make sure we did as much as we possibly could. And fortunately, with the hard work, it did start to pay off, and she did start to quietly talk at school to start with a select few people, but that has built and grown over the months, and since then we've had 2 or 3 more Skype sessions with Lucy, all more and more reassuring as we've gone, and she's been there the whole time for us to email if we had any queries, for us to contact if we couldn't remember the specific techniques to try and encourage her to use her voice, even just in front of people she didn't know. And there's all sorts of brilliant tips to try and do that when they genuinely work. And particularly the teachers told us with some of the tips that we passed on from Lucy to the teachers to try. They said, we tried this and it worked brilliantly, and since then she's always first to put her hand up in the class. She's keen to do show and tell, and it's the complete other end of the spectrum to where she was to begin with. She's still not that keen on people she doesn't know. Strangers ask a question, she often looks at them, but she will sometimes use her voice or quietly say something. And with family members that she doesn't know so well, she will smile and she will interact and she will occasionally answer quietly. But we're still working on all that, but we're absolutely stoked how brilliant she's done with the school, which was the most important thing from in our mind. We continue to stay in touch with Lucy, and we're just really grateful that we didn't need to go to the extent of an intensive, which we may well have done if things didn't improve. But definitely, if you work hard at it and talk to Lucy and listen to her, because she really knows what she's talking about, then hopefully you can have a successful outcome with your kids as well, because we think she's brilliant. Thanks, Lucy.